clouds there in the sky. First Alert meteorologist Cutter Martin is on the ground in Perry, Florida, which is about 280 miles south of Atlanta. And Hurricane Helene has rapidly intensified. How are things looking right now, Cutter?
Rapidly intensifying, and I think our story is going to be rapid deterioration in the condition. Tallahassee, tornado warnings, heavy rain all day long, dealing with similar flooding that they are dealing with in North Georgia and Tallahassee. For us, we had morning rain. We had rain yesterday. Now it's dry. I would even say it's uncomfortably hot and muggy, and we've had peaks of sunshine, but we're only a few miles away from kind of the far outer core of the system. In fact, you can see those clouds off to my south and southeast. They're moving very, very fast, and that's because the winds are howling up above the surface. All we need is these first few downpours to move in, and they will help transport the winds that are, hundreds or thousands of feet above our head all the way down to the surface, and obviously it's going to cause big issues. Speaking of issues, this area is still recovering from Idalia. We still have a little bit of debris in that live oak from a former billboard that was knocked down. Of course, Idalia was kind of weakening as it approached the coastline. This one is strengthening. This one has a larger wind field, and I'm concerned that there will be more structural damage, especially with the position that Perry is in as this eye wall approaches. Again, I think when you check back in with us at 4:30, at 5, at 6, and through the evening, conditions will rapidly go downhill, and if needed, of course, we will find safe shelter, but we will also let you know what's happening here and give you an idea, a small taste, I guess, of what you can expect further north. Thankfully, Georgia, Atlanta, much further inland. It's a huge story of wind here, but this pipeline of tropical moisture is going to impact much of the southeast. Again, we'll check back in a bit. For now, reporting live in Perry, Cutter Martin, Atlanta News First.